For today's meditation, we are reading from 1 Samuel chapter 9, verses 1 to 10. There was a man of Benjamin whose name was Kish, the son of Abiel, son of Seror, son of Bechorath, son of Aphiah, a Benjamite, a man of wealth. And he had a son whose name was Saul, a handsome young man. There was not a man among the people of Israel more handsome than he. From his shoulders upward, he was taller than any other people. Now the donkeys of Kish, son Saul's father, were lost. So Kish said to Saul his son, "Take one of the young men with you, and arise, go and look for the donkeys." And he passed through the hill country of Ephraim and passed through the land of Shalisha, but they did not find them. And they passed through the land of Shalim, but they were not there. Then they passed through the land of Benjamin, but did not find them. When they came to the land of Suf, Saul said to his servant who was with him, "Come, let us go back, lest my father cease to care about the donkeys and become anxious about us." But he said to him, "Behold, there is a man of God in the city, and he is a man who is held in honor. All that he says comes true. So now let us go there. Perhaps he can tell us the way we should go." Then Saul said to his servant, "But if we go, what can we bring the man? For the bread in our sacks is gone, and there is no present to bring to the man of God. What do we have?" The servant answered Saul again, "Here I have with me a quarter of shekel of silver, and I will give it to the man of God to tell us our way." Formerly in Israel, when a man went to inquire of God, he said, "Come, let us go to the seer." But today's prophet was formerly called a seer. And Saul said to his servant, "Well said, come, let us go." So they went to the city where the man of God was. The children of Israel wanted a king. They entreated Samuel, their judge and prophet, to appoint one for them. God instantly perceived that they were rejecting his leadership, which he had been executing through Samuel and all the judges and prophets before him. Therefore, he told Samuel to first tell them the cost of submitting themselves to a human king. Despite the plain and clear tale, they continued to hanker for a king. "But there shall be a king over us, that we also may be like all the nations, and that our king may judge us and go out before us and fight our battles." Thus they gave in to the human desire to have a visible authority, a visible human leader with visible strength, whom they could depend on for leadership and security. God, though the invisible leader and judge, was no longer enough for his people. The Lord of heaven's armies failed the test because they could not see him. They preferred a mortal human king with his thousands of mortal men to heaven's chief commander. God gave them what they wanted. So with us, if even after repeated warnings, we persist in asking for our own lusts, we may receive it, but it will not be what we wanted or needed. Saul is mentioned as being of Benjamin, the son of Kish, of the family of Abiel, a wealthy family. His family background and personal features are beyond reproach. He was described as being handsome and taller than any of the other people from the shoulders up. Wealth and influence were thus his aids. He looked like one born to be the king. But much later, when Samuel went to seek another king among the sons of Jesse, he was impressed by the looks of the eldest son and thought to himself, "Surely the Lord's anointed is before him." But the Lord reminded him that, unlike him, the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. As always, God taught his people an important truth through the error of their own desire. He gave them a king that any of the nations would have chosen based on his appearance and family background. In fact, when he was revealed to Israel, the people welcomed him, shouting, "God save the king." Yet from the start, there were red flags. He knew little about Samuel or Samuel's God, the God of Israel. In chapter 3, verse 20, we read, "All Israel from Dan to Beersheba knew that Samuel was established as a prophet of the Lord. And the Lord appeared again at Shiloh, for the Lord revealed himself to Samuel at Shiloh by the word of the Lord. And the word of Samuel came to all Israel." Despite this, the conversation between Saul and his servant sounds as if the servant knew more about Samuel than his master. He said, "Behold, there is a man of God in the city, and he is a man who is held in honor. All that he says comes true, so let us go there." Even when God informed Samuel about Saul, he described him as a captain of Israel rather than one known by the Lord as a one of his own. Notice his language. Now, the day before Samuel came, the Lord had revealed to Samuel, "Tomorrow I will send you a man from the land of Benjamin, and you shall anoint him to be prince over my people Israel." In contrast, when Samuel speaks about David, he says in 1 Samuel chapter 13, verse 14, "The Lord has sought out a man after his own heart, and the Lord has commanded him to be the prince over his people, because you have not kept what the Lord commanded you." David's heart was perfect towards God. Saul reflected the spiritual state of the whole nation of Israel. During Samuel's riper years, they were at peace, secure from the enemies and in possession of the land they had conquered. They presented an image of a people at peace with their God. Yet their heart was far from him. By giving them a king that they wanted, God wanted to expose the foolishness of their hearts. Yet, in his infinite wisdom and mercy, he also used this to bring about his own plan, to prepare them to seek and receive a king who would be after God's own heart. Let us seek the kingdom of God. Let our mind be renewed according to his thoughts. Let us be people who know and love their God. Let us rejoice in what is pleasing in his sight and not walk as those inspired by the things of the world. So let us bring joy to him and glorify his name. God bless.